Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. And we are back live with another amazing speaker and who is going to tell you all about DevOps. I would like to introduce and welcome Petrus Gomes, who has also been a van hacker since January 2016. He's also one of the van hack success cases. So he has a mission, to spread the automation knowledge to all reachable people on earth. Does not believe in information has barriers. He has this passion for DevOps, and he loves it so much. You're gonna see it yourself. Like, I've only met him once through this chat and also through his videos, and I've talked to him, and I've already realized that he is the DevOps person. So yes, and also he loves certification and has many of them like Microsoft, Cassandra, NoSQL, Google, K8s, and many more. So he's going to talk about how to pursue a DevOps career in Canada. So huge round of applause for him. A floor is all yours, Petrus.
Thank you for having me, Isa. So it's awesome to be here, guys. Thanks all to be here. Thanks for giving me some attention. And let's start. Let me share my screen with you. Uh, that is the screen. There you are, guy. Can everybody see my screen? It's all good? Yeah? So let's start. So first of all, yeah, we are here in VanHackCon talking about how to pursue a DevOps career in Canada. Yeah. So my agenda today will be who I am. Obviously, I'm gonna introduce myself. We have the DevOps variants, which I think it's a huge topic now. It's happening everywhere. The tech high demand for DevOps, yeah, and the hacking the interview. So first of all, who I am? I'm this beautiful guy with my two beautiful daughters, and the bigger one is she's 14 now, and the little one she just turned to 1. And my name is Petrus Silva. So like I am Brazilian, so I have a huge name. So sometimes I got Petrus Gomes, Petrus Silva. So it doesn't matter. But if you want to search for me, you're gonna search for Petrus Silva. I'm Brazilian. I'm 38 years old, and I work with IT for 21 years, so I have a huge experience working many different positions. I'm a cloud architect. I'm a DevOps since 2015. What do I mean? Like I'm a cloud architect and DevOps because, man, no, you do not stop. You're still going there. You're still doing DevOps stuff. So it's my day by day. So I'm used to be a blogger for thinkdevops.io as well. So if you want to reach out to me, you can find me there. I moved to Canada in December 2015, and this is my LinkedIn. If you want to get approached, ping me, etc., it's there. You can find me and in the blog thinkdevops.io. So I'm a Van Hacker Premium since January 2016, and this is the guy that got hired in June 2016. That was when I got my job here in Vancouver, and I'm very thankful to have VanHack because they helped me a lot with my interview, with my resume. I think my resume, they read through everything. This time we have just Celia and a few guys working here in Vancouver, and this is when I got the job. I arrived here in 2015, but I was working as for international consultancy, so I was not stopping. I was doing some stuff. I arrived in Canada December 1st. December 10th, I was in Santiago, Chile, doing presentation about big data, and then like January back, I was back in Canada, and then I meet those guys, and those guys like helped me a lot to get the job. So first topic that I want to talk, it's about DevOps variants. Why I'm bringing this, okay? I'm not talking about this guy. I'm not talking about this guy, which the Spider-Man stealing a World Cup trophy, So I'm not talking about those variants. I'm talking about DevOps variants. Why I'm talking about DevOps variants? Because all the time we have this thing. The people sometimes they just look to the job title and say, hey, this is a job title, so I cannot apply for it. No, don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay, we have like cloud engineer. We have cloud DevOps engineer. We have DataOps, we have DevOps, we have DevOps engineer, we have DevOps specialist, we have DevNet, we have DevSecOps. And who cares about the job title? You know, nobody cares. What's important is exactly what you are doing, what you're doing your day by day, what's your experience. So that's what you have to focus. Ignore the job title. Look to me here. Ignore the job title. Nobody cares about the job title. What is important is exactly what you have done. What's your background? What's your experience? You know, what you bring with you. So many times I saw like cloud engineer, and then when you have a look into this, the guy said, "Oh no, you have to know about Terraform." Man, you know, so Terraform is a DevOps tool. Yeah, okay, like sysadmin can use, cloud engineer can use, everybody can use, but it's a DevOps tool. You know, oh, the guy said, "Oh no, but I have to automate some stuff here, so you have to use Ansible." Man, you know, it's the same. So ignore exactly the job title. Say, you know, I don't care about the job title. I just want to know about the position, what you have done. I used to use one role. It is like if you have 10 technologies, okay, 10 tools in this position, and then you feel 7. You apply for the job. Sure. I always use this kind of thing. Like if you have 7 out of 10, that's enough to apply. Probably gonna get this job if you're good in your, like, if you can fit their expectation, obviously, yeah, then you can get that job. So use this. I always use this rule. Everybody that approach me and I have contact with, I always recommend this, you know, guys. So use this kind of thing. 7 out of 10, done. Go for it. You know, apply for the job and show your techniques. Try always to show your techniques, you know. But as I said, ignore the job title. Nobody cares about the job title, okay? So the second topic that I want to talk, it's the tech in high demand for DevOps. What is that? I just make a research, yeah, on LinkedIn. So I got the week that we had before. I tried to get closer as the dates that we have the presentation. I had all the scripts, scrapping the LinkedIn web page, etc., ready to go. But I just getting this and collecting all the data, put everything in an Excel file, and then I played with this data. I'm a kind of data-driven guy, and as I said, as Isa said about me, I do not believe in data barriers. So I don't care about if you got the information that I'm talking here and share with your name. I don't care, but information has no barriers, guys, okay? So do not keep tight to this. Share your knowledge, you know? So I got this 2,733 positions. I put everything in a file and start to scrap start to work, play with this data. Yeah. So one thing that I would like to raise here the attention first, it is the cloud. Like cloud, it's about 75% of the positions. You know, all of them they're asking about AWS, Azure, and GCP. You know. So it's a kind of thing that very funny for me because when I look to this, I said, you know, I thought would be like AWS, Azure, and GCP. But when I got into the numbers and I looked like, hey, man, you know, GCP, it's like 349 position was asking for GCP. But Azure, it's more than AWS. I said, hey, this is new for me. This is funny. This is new for me. I didn't know that. The people are using so much like Azure now. And so when I look to this, I said, yeah, okay, it's a very interesting thing, but let's go for the tools, yeah? So we have the PowerShell, the scripting, it's another hot topic. As you can see, like we have PowerShell, we have Bash, and we have Python. Yeah, this is what I searched for. I go detailing this, you know? So let's go deep. I went deep into those topics. So like PowerShell, most of them, like they have tied to Windows, yeah? Bash, it's another hot topic, but there is one thing like this. My perception was more close to senior, you know. So the people were asking about those positions. It was more senior guys, so they were searching for senior DevOps for those positions or senior cloud engineers, you know. And then we have Python. Python, it was a huge one. I didn't know like the people were asking, the people were asking so much for Python. As you can see, it's more than 50%. No, we are talking about 65% of data. So it's a kind of, okay, like the guy, if you are not developing, man, like scripting, I'm not talking about you to start to develop systems, using Python, blah, blah. I'm not talking about it. I'm just talking about exactly develop something in Python. If you don't know that today, you have to start to learn. You have to start to learn, develop something. You don't need to be a huge developer. You need to know the process, which DevOps, like many times they get in this kind of thing, yeah? So you have to be developing something. Man, open a GitHub repo, start to copy things there, to upload, to put your data there, whatever. Start to play with containers, doing this and that, So it's don't keep stopping on this topic. You have to be developing every time. Oh man, if you have a look at your YAML file, it's exactly almost a development. Why you don't know that? You have to know that. How if you don't know YAML file, how can you work with Terraform? How can you work, with many technologies that we have? How can you do Kubernetes without it? So you have to know about it. You have to be studying those topics. Don't get like stuck in those topics. Don't get stuck in those like, oh, I'm just actually, when I got here in Vancouver in 2015, when I talked to people like, hey, I work with Ansible, I work with Linux, I work with Hadoop, I work with Python, the guy looked to me like, hey, man, I don't believe you. Many times I passed through this, okay? I remember Ilya participating in a podcast. Exactly, the guy was discussing this because in a presentation, I just stopped the guy and told him, hey, I have this situation here. I know those many technologies, and the people, like, they want specifically specialists. At this time, it was happening this on the market, The people was looking to DevOps for, I remember this time just Jenkins, Ansible, there are like just a few tools available in the market, yeah? And then the guy's like, okay, like, we want this. No, I don't think we want this guy because he knows everything. Probably he knows nothing. That's not true. That is not true. And lots of people get in this kind of situation. And I spoke with this guy, and Ilya at exactly this time said, hey, yeah, that's a good question. Because we Brazilian, I don't know if you know our market, but I used to say like we are sharp people, not because we study a lot. No, because we have lack of resource. As we have a lack of resource, what we have to do, we have to have some differential, to change everything. Because, man, you have just this tool in your hands. What you gonna do? You gonna give up? No, that's not an option. So just go there and make this happen, So it's a kind of thing that I always look into those guys say, when I saw someone giving up of his dream, like, hey, why are you doing this? What happened? No, what the heck, man? We have to want to have success in our life. And if you have to start, if you don't know how to develop, I'm talking lots about this thing, because I got lots of sysadmin guys, which when I spoke with them, I told, hey, you have to develop. You have to develop something. The guy said, no, I don't know how to develop. Man, how can you give up like this? No, you have to start scripting. Many sysadmin guys, they are already scripting a lot. They know about classes. They know about lots of structural development, and like they're not doing it. They're saying, "Oh no, I don't know how to develop." Man, that's not true. Maybe the market, your knowledge that you have now, the market, it's enough for them. Maybe. So it's why don't give it a try. Go for it. And then next stop that I got, it was the container and management containers, technology. I'm talking about Docker Swarm and Docker and Kubernetes, containers. Actually, it's a must-have. If you don't have this knowledge today, man, start to play with it. Start to play with it because you isolate everything. You see your application isolated in the server, and then you just start to collect everything and put everything together. And you see in one server, you're running Ubuntu, CentOS, lots of different technologies in the same node. So that's a kind of awesome thing. If someone tell you 15 years ago that one, the guy would say, hey, that's impossible, man. It's already existing Unix, okay. But that was not the point. It was not using like easy like this today. So it's a must have. If you don't have it, you have to have this knowledge today. So you have to be learning all of those things. So what I'm talking about, I already have spoken about operational system. So I'm talking about Windows and Linux. Yeah, I already spoken about scripting. So I'm talking about PowerShell, Bash, Python, this kind of technology. Okay. I already spoken about containers. So we have here Docker and Kubernetes. And the last piece that I want to talk about, I already spoken about cloud, sorry. The last piece that I raised my attention, and I don't know, it's one thing that I need to research more about it to understand why those numbers. The numbers about testing and QA, it was one thing that concerned me because I think it was too low. So I'm talking about 822 position was asking test knowledge, and 362 asking for QA knowledge. So I think that number is too low for the reality that we have today. So I looked to this like, hey, I don't know. Maybe I need to research a little bit more in this topic, because it's something to concern me, because all of those parts, they are connected. I don't know if the people change the way that they ask the QA and testing guys, but it's one thing that concerns me, because if you're a QA, you're a test guy, man, today, make a little bit like a more deep research in your area, because it's one thing that concerned me, and I did not have time to look exactly what happened in those market, that part of the DevOps area, to know exactly what's happening. It's something different happening in Canada. Yeah, all of those data, they just come from Canada. So I got the data from everywhere, like the whole Canada country. I got this data from LinkedIn, and I just research on this data, play with this data. So it's one thing that if you are a guy that working with this part, man, it's a kind of, I can't help you today because it's something that happened and I didn't catch what's happening exactly now. So the next topic will be the next slide that I have. It's about the province. So we're moving to Canada. We have to decide where we're going to move. Yeah, as you can see, Ontario, it's where we have more position available. 52% of all the position that we had, it was in Ontario. 26% in Quebec, 70% in BC, and 4% in others. Yeah. So when I say that number for others, I think it's a kind of reality, because the other area in the country, they don't have that much of positions. They have a few. So when I talk about 400, it's one more thing. It's just in this week, November 12th to November 19th. Yeah. So I collect the data that they posted in this week, on this week. So if you search for what we have now, we are talking about maybe 6,000, 7,000 positions open available in the markets. So when I look to this week, I just looked to this and okay, so just 4% was asking, and 17% was in BC. I'm in BC. I live in Burnaby, Vancouver, yeah, near to Vancouver, and exactly it's a number. And I saw here, guys, we the company that I work for, we tried to hire a DevOps guy maybe about 6-7 months ago, and we tried for maybe 1 year to get someone in BC, and we could not. Like nobody can reach our expectation, and we got a guy in Ontario because we are in the middle of the pandemic. Yeah, then the guy said, "No, it's okay. We will keep like 100%. It's hybrid environment, so it's like okay, we can make this work like 100% remote." Then the guy got someone in Ontario. It was very fast. So at the same time, you have more positions in Ontario, but you have more people like prepared for the market there over there as well. So we have more people available in the market as well. So probably if you're seeking a job in this area, you're going to have some, concurrent with you. It's not going to be that easy, guys. So, and as I said, like we have just 17% of the positions available here in BC, but at the same time, we have this situation where like it's a case that happened with me 7-8 months ago. It's exactly trying to catch someone, and I could not get someone in the market. So it's a kind of thing, guys. Keep this in mind when you're going to apply for some area here in Canada. We have to think about it. Okay, so which province I'm planning to go? That's the reality, So it's a kind of thing that I want to bring to you, because when you use VanHack, you have all the stuff that VanHack bring. Yeah. Oh, just one thing. Okay, I do not work for VanHack. I'm talking about myself, okay? So when you do something with VanHack, you can use their service with English, with lots of, and they have mock interviews, which is great, exactly, because they can help you to, when you go somewhere like, oh, Ontario, maybe they're asking for more people like this, then they can make customization for you, So do it, do not stop, do it. When you have to opportunity to do this, just do it, okay? That's one thing that why I make a slide for it, because it was one thing that I was very concerned about. Okay, we have this slide about DevOps Junior in Canada. Why I raised this? Because in those 2017, 33 in position available in Canada in a week, just 5 was for juniors. So what I'm asking, what I'm telling in this slide, Canada does not need junior guys. Okay, if you are junior, I recommend you to start to work with something, play with anything in IT, start to work in IT, whatever you want, and do not stop DevOps. That was the point. Because when you see an opportunity in the place that you're working to automate something, that's where you have to be. So you go there, you automate this thing, you make this happen, and then you show them like, hey, look this, how automated this thing I did, look how great it is now. Look how many times we can save. Not just you. I'm talking about your peers too. Your colleagues that work with you. So you have to help them as well. So for a junior guy, the recommendation that I could make to you is, guy, if you are seeking for a position abroad in Canada specifically, just try to learn a little bit. Try to get experience. A junior guy in a year working, he's ready to go. He's gonna be an intermediate. Why am I telling you like a year? Because in a year in DevOps, usually you don't work. When you work in DevOps, you're working in a very fast environment, and the people asking you all the time things, all the change, and something happened, you have to roll back, and you have, it's very fast, and the people, you're working with production. Usually, yeah, most of the time you're working with production. So when you deploy something, you have to be ready to roll back or not, or whatever. You have to change that. You have to deploy something. So it's a kind of thing that you have to be prepared for. So the junior, he will start to work with someone, probably. The junior guy, they don't do this kind of deployment in production. They do other stuff. They help the senior guy to make scripts, or they make the job, and then they just join with the senior guy, say, hey, look at this, what I did. Then the guy looks, oh, okay, cool. So we can go for it. It's gonna work, So it's a kind of thing that you have to have in mind. DevOps Junior, if you're watching me, guy, start to work for something and play automation. Try to play automation using tools, because tool, it's what the market will ask you, the knowledge that you have to have. So it's play with it. Do not forget this. And the last topic that I want to bring to you, probably that's the biggest one as well. It's the hacking the interview. Why I'm telling you hacking the interview? Like I remember a few years ago, I met a guy and I told him, I met him, he said, oh no, where are you from? I said, oh, I'm Brazilian. And then he said, hey, you guys are hacking the market. I said, yeah, why do you think we are hacking the market? I said, I don't know, because you're coming here, you're doing this, you're doing that. Usually you have more than one knowledge. Do you remember what I said in the podcast in 2015? The people was telling me like, hey, you have to be specialized. But actually, they get some value. They get more value to the guy that have more than one knowledge than, just specialized in database, specialized in this, specialized in that. No, if you're DevOps, probably sometimes you're going to be doing like Linux stuff, you're like Bash, etc. You are going to be like developing scripts to deploy a SQL statement. So you have to do a deploy, and in the middle of the step, you have to insert something in my SQL database. It's an example, yeah. So you bring this. Okay, so you have to know this knowledge, yeah. You are not super specialized in this topic, but you have to know what's happening. You have to know how to do simple things, So as I said, in 2015, when I got here, it was a bad thing. And actually, it's good to have, more than one knowledge. So the generalists that we have in the past, that the people used to say no to them, now they have their value, It's revenge. Just joking. It's a kind of thing that the people asking now. And when I looked at this, like, hey guys, like 5 or 6 years ago, you are telling me I can be this guy, and now you're telling me, oh, it's cool to be this guy. What's happening? So as I said, who cares about about what the people are thinking? Just if you have a objective, you just go for it, man. Go for it. Do not stop. Okay, let's go for the next one. So the Hacking the Interview, when I've spoken about this topic, I'm talking about like code challenge. Why we have code challenge for DevOps? Because as I said, you have to be scripting. So do not expect someone asking you to do programs with this, but maybe they can ask you how to do a pipeline. It's not a kind of code challenge, okay, but it's a kind of question that can raise you. They can show you that today actually they have programs which the guys send you the code challenge, yeah, and like HackerRank, they can give you this kind of thing. I think actually VanHack's doing this too. So it's a kind of they do it for you, and they can show you exactly this part. They want you to share your knowledge. I got rejected in a position a few years ago, which the guy asked me. He was asking about API, so he was searching for DevOps doing API stuff. It's okay, but they want me to do one thing like, okay, if you have the overflowing memory, you have to treat, you have to kill this, but you cannot stop the program, etc. He asked me to do that in 2 days, and I could not. And then I put, obviously, like we do our MacGyver stuff, yeah. So I just said, okay, if you reach this number, you just kill the connection and restart everything. And the guy said, oh yeah, you try to you try to work around. I said, yeah, you asked this, I just work around it. The guy said, yeah, okay, that's not enough. Okay, bye. It's a kind of thing that but I told him first before I start. I told him like, hey, this API part here, I got in trouble. It was not that easy, blah blah blah. And the guy said, oh yeah, okay, so show me what you did. Then I showed him. So he already know I was not reaching all expectation that he had, So it's a kind of thing that you have to pay attention with. And the questions, yeah, questions. The people, when they ask you questions in an interview, they don't ask you. Obviously, usually they do not ask you, hey, do you know Ansible? So give him this question here. No, this is gonna send you by email, by the application that I spoken with, like Code Challenge, the same application they can give you like questions to make it. So they can send you that through email, So what he gonna ask you? Probably he can ask you your experience. And then again, oh yeah, did you work with Terraform? Okay, cool. What did you do? Oh, I make this environment. Okay, why did you use this? Which component did you use? So he can start to play with it, like go in details, and then he can struggle, like start to struggle, I used to interview for some companies as well, and I remember in the past I had a case where the guy, he was asking about, I asked him about he said he had cloud migration experience. It's one thing that I'm specialized in. And I told him, hey, guys, so what's happened about this here? He said, oh no, I haven't migrated my SQL to the cloud, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh yeah, cool. It's one thing that I have huge experience. And I asked him, hey, yeah, so what did you do? He said, oh no, I migrate by my SQL dump. What's the database size? Oh, 400 gigs. I said, oh yeah, how long it takes? Oh, about 5 minutes. I said, what? Like in my SQL dump? 5 minutes, 400 gigs? What machine do you have, man? You have a HPC at home? What's happening? And then like asking him more question, and the middle of everything, I just got he didn't know what he was talking about, but he put this in his resume, and I asked him, and like it was bad because you never lie. Yeah, in the interview, you never lie. Okay, we will have more questions about this in the next page here. So it's one thing that I always say. It's pay attention to how you sell yourself, but do not overstate. Do not overstate. Do not get more than you have. Be humble. Be humble. Because it's very important when you tell someone like, hey, it's to openly admit, say, I have this limitation. I know. Do you remember when I spoken about 7 out of 10? That was the point. Okay, I have this knowledge. That's what I know. So if the guy asks you questions about this, you can tell him exactly the experience that you have. Do you remember I have spoken with about Python developing? Okay, you can tell them like, hey, I have this knowledge in Python, but I don't have that one here. So maybe he can ask you, because Python it's a very open tool and there are lots of research there, and the guy maybe can ask you like tough questions in the middle of everything and say, no, I'm this kind of developer here. I just make my automation here. That's the piece that I get. So be humble. Admit if you don't know something. As I told you during the last slide, do not lie. Never lie about something that you have in your resume, okay? Okay, learn the company, search for success case in the company website is a way to crack the interview. Why I'm telling you to crack the interview? Why? Because exactly when someone asks you to learn the company, obviously you're gonna learn what they're doing, etc. But success case, it's the most piece that they have because it's what they sell in the market, So if you tell someone, okay, I have a look here into your company, I do this and that, but I saw this success case, which I think is awesome. And maybe the guy that interviewing you has some participation in this project. Remember how proud he will be, she will be to get in this situation and telling you exactly, hey, we have this, and this is the situation that I did. And the guy, he learned about the company, he learned about the person that I work with, So it's a kind of, hey, hack this interview, exactly doing this kind of thing. So we are going to be prepared what they're talking about. Yeah, most of the companies has this kind of thing in the web page. Okay, not 100%, but 99% they have this. I never saw a company that don't have the success case on his web page. It's how they sell in the market. Yeah. Online events for networking. What I'm talking about? You have meetup.com. Okay, go there, have a look into the area that you want to learn. You want to leave. Sorry, go there and search what's your topic. Search for DevOps over there. Oh, you're coming to Vancouver. Okay, cool. Mark out the place that you are. Vancouver, 25 miles. I want to be in this area, or 50 miles, wherever. You just mark this area. Say, hey, I want to see an event. 99% now in pandemic. Obviously, guys, this pandemic bring a crazy world for us, lots of problems, etc. But at the same time, they brought opportunities. Do not miss that one. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for us tech guys. So it's a good thing that we have to prepare for. And when you ask technical questions to the interviewer, ask about the job description. So before the interview, you have to be prepared for it. You have to prepare yourself. Spend some time doing this job. So get them, put it together, mark all the marks that you like, question that you have. It's awesome when someone asks you technical question about the job description, and it's the time that you can sell yourself. You can say, hey, I'm highly specialized in Python. Then I told the guy, oh, I saw you have some Python automation. Oh, how's that? What do you have? How percent you have your environmental automation on this topic? Do you think you have like something to grow in this area? It's a kind of thing that is cool to have, man. So ask them. Very active repository. That's, I think, blogs, videos. I would recommend to add more things here. GitHub, GitLab, whatever you have, Git, etc. It's a must-have at the moment. So you store your scripts, you store all your stuff over there. So you save everything there. Then you can show them. We'll make our life easier if you do this. Why? Because when someone tell me, okay, I have this guy and he has this repository, I can look to his repository or what he has, said, okay, cool. This is a good one. Maybe, I will ask him more questions about this and that, which is the hot topic for the position that I'm open the market, yeah? So I'm going to ask him about this. So it's a cool thing to have, guys. That's one point that I saw. Lots of people don't do this. When you join VanHack and have those guys working there, you ask questions to them, They're not shy, man. They're not shy. No shy at all. Just go there and ask them. If you need some help, you ask them. Do not like I saw some people like once in a while. I saw that in the past. The guy was complaining about one thing that he could ask, he could get his help. Because many times you're applying the Van Hack website, but man, if you're searching for a job abroad, you're applying Canada, you're applying US, you're applying Europe, everywhere. So if the position is not open in Van Hack and you're applying LinkedIn, you get the same knowledge, the same thing. The same thing that they're asking Van Hack, they're going to be asking LinkedIn as well. So do not, play all the game. Do not keep like tight to just one thing, do not do that. So do not have any doubt about what you write on your resume. What I'm telling you, do you remember what I said about the application? The guy that said, "Oh, I did this migration," and he had a bad lucky because I was super specialized guy migrating on-prem to the cloud. So it's one thing that he replied 100%. It was perfect for him. It was super bonus point. Why? Because he know what he was talking about. Yeah. So it's one thing that we have to be aware of it. Do not lie in your resume, yeah, and finish our sentences in a positive note. What is that? Try to keep positive all the time. If you're speaking about someone, about something, try to finish your sentence in a positive note. That's bring something like comfort for the interviewer. It's good to have someone positive. Don't be negative. Try to be positive as possible. If you did something wrong, many times the guy asks you about mistakes that you have made. Daniel, explain that, hey, I did this. This is the mistake that I did. And how did you get this work around? How did you fix it? How did you, finish your sentence in a positive note? Bring them lights, bring them solution. Do not bring just a problem, So what did you do? I did this. Or I did this mistake and I got fired and never repeat them again. Now I double check all the time. All the time I never made this mistake again. I'm working 5 years now and I never made the same mistake. I'm working the same technology and never made this mistake again. So it's one thing that it's very important to finish all sentences in a positive note. Yeah. And we have many more here, but I don't think we have time to speak more things. I'm a bit concerned about the times because, guys, I want to see the question that you have, guys, because then maybe we can get more on this. Yeah. So, and to finish, the Princess Iran say, if you don't know, the thing to do is not get scared, but learn. Use this as an opportunity. Use this as an opportunity for you. Guys. So do not finish something and just keep like this, oh no, I didn't do it. No, do not get scared. Not say, hey, oh my gosh, yeah, I know you get nervous, obviously. Try to control yourself and learn the process. Learn, try to learn, because next time it's not gonna happen again. It's gonna be different, guys. So that's the message that I have for today. And thanks everyone to have here. If you have any question, I will be very helpful to reply. Thank you. Here, switch.
Perfect. We're back. Thank you so much, Petrus. You know what? I don't know personally much about DevOps, anything, but your session was so full of, energy. And I'm sure the people who are learning here about DevOps, they would have loved it. Yeah, we got a lot of comments over here. Yes. Yes, it's contagious. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
Also,
it's something that I really, really love to talk about. And I saw lots of people, that is the last post that I used. I saw lots of people get scared about this thing. Like, hey, this new thing, oh my gosh. No, man, don't play like this. I know it's tough, but try to control yourself. Try the maximum that you can.
Yes, just like Petrus is saying, just do it. And you all also need this energy from him, inspiration also. Also, everybody, before we begin the question answer session, I just want you to know that we have DevOps challenges in our core challenges on our platform at VanHack. So do check it out, and it's going to help you in your practices. So let's move to the questions. The first question is, are there any opportunities for who knows just cloud infrastructure or is necessary? Sorry, that went away.
That's okay. Yeah, I think someone like pop up a message in front of it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. So I'm Brazilian too. Greetings from SP. So that's the question. Are there opportunities for who knows just cloud infrastructure or is necessary to learn DevOps?
Hey Jefferson, it's good to have you. Thanks for your question, first of all. But yeah, I saw it. It's one thing, guys. You know, as I spoken, like you're going to do cloud infrastructure, okay? You're gonna automate your stuff, yeah. So you're gonna say, okay, this is the thing that I want to automate. Which tool do I use? Oh, I'm gonna use Terraform. I'm gonna develop using Python, AWS component that we have. Man, you're doing DevOps. So it's a kind of thing that you at the end you're doing DevOps. Because DevOps is not just a set of tools. DevOps is not like SRE. It's one thing that I didn't put there, SRE. Lots of people get confused about SRE and DevOps. Because SRE, we have exactly what has to be done. DevOps, no. DevOps is just a culture, you know? So it's many things inside this. And the tool that you have using this culture is different. So sometimes you're already doing DevOps and you don't know. So yeah, definitely you have to learn because I think you're in the middle of this, so you're learning already.
Perfect. Moving on. So Lucas is asking, is personal experience relevant if I never worked at DevOps related position but studied or worked on personal projects? Will my application be considered?
The second topic that I talk about, it was DevOps variant. So who cares about the job title? Nobody cares. Important is what you have done. Try to make this, you know, show this in your resume as possible and show them as possible the experience that you have. And if you like be considered for application, you have to remember you don't have this job title. So you have to show them your techniques. You have to try to bring all your experience that you have. So you will be considered.
Yes. Projects matter more now.
Yeah.
Okay, a person with lots of on-premises infrastructure, including automation tool, but few knowledge about cloud infrastructure, will be considered senior or junior DevOps engineer. Daniel.
For me, be honest with you, depends what DevOps position are asking. You know, do you remember with the numbers that I showed? As you can see, we have 2,150 numbers exactly asking this. The number for the cloud. We have, first of all, we have 600 asking for someone which do not need to know exactly cloud. And if you remember 7 out of 10. So if you have, you know, like, oh, the guy needs Ansible, he needs Jenkins, he needs a guy with Linux, and then he needs cloud, okay? And then he look to you, your resume, you are perfect in 3 for that or for him. But the cloud, you don't have it. You know, you have knowledge, you have few knowledge, but you never have opportunity to work with it. You don't have experience. So that's the moment, guys, that you have to, you know, to get on this. So it's exactly, do not say no. You're gonna apply for intermediate or senior. As I said, I showed like junior, almost no position. So apply for everything that you find. You know, apply for it because I think you're gonna get success.
Perfect. Everybody's loving your presentation and your answers because they are very honest and your presentation was amazing. So yes. So another question for Andre. What does Windows mean in your research? Windows desktop?
No, it means Windows and DevOps in the same sentence, in the same request. That was what I look into. And most of them that I passed through the years, they were just referring as Windows, but most of them was cloud. So they're not talking about desktop. They were talking about Windows Server.
Okay. That's good. So Henrique is asking, I work a lot with Docker using everything I use, but have not developed. I've already created an image in Docker Hub. I can consider myself a DevOps?
I don't think so. Just that one. I don't think so. That's the point. Do you remember the job title that I said? Nobody cares about the job title. So just working, with Docker, you have to know more things. It's impossible to know just Docker. Yeah, you have to know more things. So probably you have some operational system knowledge that will count for the position as well. So if the DevOps position needs, like the guy needs, oh, I need this guy, and I need someone that creates a Docker container, and he needs just basic knowledge, but he has to know lots of things in Windows. Maybe you're the guy. I don't know, maybe. Depends on the position. As I said, job title, ignore the job title. Say, hey, job title, I don't care. I don't care about job title. What's the content? What's the position asking to knowledge that you have to have, and what to have exactly.
Great. And now we have, for software developers focused on coding, would you advise them to apply for specialist DevOps jobs, or can you do both successfully in one job? Can you be senior DevOps engineer with SW experience?
Oh, yeah, sure. There are lots of. Oh, the guy that you have today, yeah, he was a software engineer, yeah. No, the guy that had the first presentation that we have today, he was a software engineer. He is a DevOps here in Canada.
You're talking about Tam?
Yeah, the first guy that presented today,
Yeah,
he was
before you.
talking. So yeah, he used to be a software engineer. So he's now DevOps. So why not? Sure, you can. But as I said, what's exactly what you have? Because I got some positions for DevOps, which the guy I'm asking more development knowledge than DevOps tools. So do not ignore this. Do not ignore this. So maybe you are the guy for this position. So yeah, definitely you can.
Okay. No, I think you were talking about Gustavo. I just read the comment in the.
The guy, yeah. Today morning, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We have one more question. Okay. The question is, just a second. Yes. It's not a question, but Petrus, you're awesome.
Thanks, man.
It's not a question. We know you're awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So, but at the end of this session, we want to know your last tips. Your last tips that you want everybody to know. Those are like you said, the secret goblets of tips that you want people to know. DevOps.
So it's a kind of thing that it's wide open. It's a wide open market, So one important thing, guys, it's I saw lots of people talking about learn, but in IT we have one thing. This is general, yeah. You have to practice. Okay, learn is just one more thing that you're doing. You learn some tool, you do it. You make this work. You try this. You test this. 10 times. 10 times. You repeat. Why? When you repeat, you exactly archive this in your mind. So this is for any IT knowledge. Okay. So when you're learning something and the guy give you exercise, do not jump them. Do it. And when you finish, if you have any doubt, you do it again. And you do it again until you get this. It will be, you will reach a moment which say, okay, I learned this. I know sometimes it's tough because sometimes when we are working, it's way easier in something, because we are like every day, first of all, we are getting money to do it. Yeah. You're doing all the time and you have to get this done. So you're doing. Then you fix it. You make this work, this happen, and then look to this. Okay, cool. And you have this experience. Nobody will go to your mind and clean up. It's there. It's seated there. Maybe you can forget. And if you can forget, and in the future you can go there. Let's take it again. That knowledge you remember, it will be there. Maybe archived in something like last year in your mind. It's a storage, but you can go there and take it. So that's the last thing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for helping us, everybody, understand all the technicalities and the issues that revolves around DevOps and how to nail them. So thank you so much, and especially for your such an awesome presentation. So yeah, you rocked it. So yeah, thank you so much for being part of it. Yes, and everybody else, you can connect with him on LinkedIn, and you can have any questions that you want. I think you shared your LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, I shared my LinkedIn. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And everybody, we'll be meeting you all in 10 minutes for the next webinar. So see you all. Stay tuned. Bye.